Hello and welcome to The Singer's Piano, where we talk about everything to do with piano, vocal and songwriting for healing and self-expression. So maybe you're watching this video because you are an accomplished piano vocalist. You have overcome all those fears, you've walked into the studio, you've created your beautiful EP or album, and then you're like, now what? I have an album, yay! I have my own songs, I want to share them so badly with the world. But what do I do next? Now, this video, if I told you everything about what to do next, this video would be about 10 hours long. But what I'd like to talk to you today about is two things. The first thing is branding and the second thing is community. So let me just guess where you are right now. You're sitting down, you think maybe that you've kind of like reached the pinnacle of Mount Everest. You have got your album, you've recorded it, and you're like, oh, I can relax now. Well, I'm really sorry. Like, you are nowhere near ready to finish. You are just starting, my friend. You are just starting. So one of the questions I get asked all the time is, well, how do I actually get people to listen to my music? Now, here's the thing. With everybody putting tracks onto Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, all of those places, it is really, really easy to do that now. You kind of need to think like a marketer rather than a musician. And there are two ways that I would suggest that you can do this straight away and for free. Because obviously, us musicians, we got no money. Okay, number one is your community. Now, community is everything because a community is how you can be like David and Goliath, yeah? If you've got a community of people around you that love your music, they are going to make a stand for you and people are going to start to listen and like their ears are going to prick up when they hear your name, like radio and so forth. But the $1 million question is, how do I build a community? And unfortunately, it takes time. Like, it really takes time. The reason why I called it community and branding is because you're kind of going to be building your community at the same time as understanding who your audience is and who will listen to your music. So first of all, let's go back to your audience. Now, you may be going, I don't have a Scooby-Doo who will like my music. I've got no idea at all who will like my music. In which case, you want to start with yourself, yeah? So we take a pen and paper and I want you to literally scribble down the story of yourself. So how old are you? What do you listen to? What clothes do you wear? Where do you go to school? What do you work as? Are you married? Have you got kids? What are your interests? Do you like to travel? Do you like wine? Are you religious? Are you spiritual? So this was the first thing that I did when I released my album England. I was like, well, who listens to my music? And I knew that it was spiritual empaths that would listen to my music. The reason why you start with who would listen is because the last thing that you want to do is to get your music out to the wrong audience, because they'll just turn around and go, it's not very good. Well, of course it's not very good because you're not my audience, yeah? Like if I was listening to some opera, I wouldn't like it. I'm not saying it's not good, opera is very good, I just don't particularly like opera. So that's the first thing, is you want to really identify what music do you listen to. You know, I listen to singer-songwriters, so I knew that my music kind of went into the singer-songwriter realm. So once you've identified who your audience are, this might sound a bit wacky, I want you to see if you can book a gig with a similar artist. So when I saw Tori Amos, and I've seen Narina Palo, and I've seen, who else have I seen? Alanis Morissette. These are my favourite singer-songwriters ever. You go into a room full of those fans, they're all the same. Like, it's like loads of mini Sams. You know, we're all hippies, we're all empaths, we're all, we love candles. Yeah, it's the same type of person. So ideally, you want to go to someone that you love, who has a similar type of music. Go to a gig of theirs, look around you, see who's there. Is it mainly male? Is it mainly female? Get a real idea for their audience. You can even do it kind of online. You can go to some of the forums of people like superfans who love the type of music that they do, and just kind of read the forum, like, what are they into? Do some research on the type of people who like that type of music. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to, hopefully you will have already got your music online, is you're going to start to get into those forums, into those groups, and you're going to start just talking to people. Yeah, you're just going to start making friends with people and network with people. So for example, if I was to go in a Toremos fan community, I'd just be talking to them and networking and kind of building those relationships up. And then over a course of time, you may turn around and say, oh, well, I'm a singer-songwriter as well. You know, here's a link, you might enjoy it. So that's one way of building your following up. Another way of building your following up is via Facebook ads. Now, this isn't for the faint-hearted. You do have to have money, I'm not going to lie. And it's kind of, you've got to think of it long term. Now, the reason why I suggest Facebook ads is that you can create an ad straight away that goes directly to that target audience. So for example, and I haven't seen it in a while actually, artists, you know, a singer would come up on my Facebook feed and they might be like a new singer-songwriter. And I might like, whoa, that's so cool. And you check out their music. Or it might be like, you send that ad to your Spotify playlist. Now, you're not going to make any money that way. We're not even thinking about making money. All we are thinking of doing is building that community. And you want to be thinking about the platform that you're going to build that community on. Is it going to be Facebook? Is it going to be Instagram? Is it going to be YouTube? Is it going to be TikTok? Is it going to be Pinterest? Just choose one. Just choose one platform. If you enjoy Instagram and you like it and you're always scrolling on it, then choose that. But if you're like a YouTuber and you like, I absolutely love like to look at YouTube, then choose YouTube. And again, it depends on who your target audience is. So if they're like me, like 42, I would probably choose YouTube or Instagram or Facebook rather than TikTok. I don't go on any of those. So choose kind of where your audience are. And then you're going to start to post weekly content. So ideally, you want to be posting a video of you singing and playing your song each week. It could be the same song, guys. Like, I think this is something that I really struggled with when I did it years ago, was that I'd be like, oh, I have to get this, I have to have a new song out every single week. You don't. You can have the same song and literally every single week you go on Instagram and you perform it live, but you might have some different places that you perform it live. So it might be like 1 week you're on a canal boat. I've done that. 1 week you're at the beach. 1 week you're in your car. 1 week you're in your living room. You could even make it quite funny, like different ways in which you're singing the song. You could sing it in different languages. Have lots of fun with it. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to attract your ideal audience from that. And by posting on Instagram, people will start to see you in your feed and they might follow you if they enjoy you. You then want to share a little bit about yourself, yeah? Because people are attracted to people. People buy from people. So for example, I know that my audience are beautiful female empaths. And so the things that I post are related to that, yeah? I mean, maybe you're not, and that's fine. But those are the people that I tend to attract into my courses. And that's who I am. So I'm putting everything I put out, all my branding, even the scenery in the back, you know, like the flowers and the greenery and the elephants. It's all beautiful empath branding. So when you're on Instagram, you want to be posting through the eyes of your brand. And that's a massive question in itself. It's like, what is branding? Like, go onto YouTube and do some research. I'm not a branding expert. I've just branded my own company. Based on a lot of courses, based on a lot of ChatGPT. So, but the most important thing is that you brand based on yourself, and then you kind of work through that, if that makes any sense. Now, if you decide that you want to do YouTube, because again, piano vocal songwriting videos are doing really well on YouTube. I want to tell you guys, like, again, 10 years ago, I honestly didn't understand this. Consistency is everything. So if you are on YouTube, you need to be posting regularly, consistently. Now, you often see piano vocal covers on YouTube. Maybe that's what you do. Create a video, a channel specifically for your music. So every single week, you're going to post a new cover, a new piano vocal cover every single week. And it will feel like you are climbing up a mountain. Like, I've been running this channel since June last year and we are July this year. So a year and 1 to 2 months, like properly, consistently every single week. And it's only now I'm starting to see the curve of subscribers and of the community starting to build. Yeah. And that's been 52 videos. I think it's 52 videos, something along those lines, 46 or something like that. Yeah. So you want to be really consistent weekly. The algorithm loves consistency. But also, what I love about YouTube, it's a really great way for people to get to know you. Like when you're watching this video, do you feel like you know me a little bit? Like we're best mates, or, you know? So it's a really great way to do that. You can do the same with Instagram. You can do it with short reels. I don't really like short reels, in all honesty, but you could do short reels. You could take the content from YouTube and make them into short reels and put them on Instagram if you're clever. So once you've got your social media, whether you're doing Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever it is, you want to do it consistently. And this is a slow game. And this is why Facebook ads can be really helpful, because it can make things a lot faster. But you do need money. You know, I think I spent about £700-800 on Facebook ads with my singing just to build up a few hundred, I think like 20,000 followers on my page at the time. You know, so it takes money or it takes time, one or the two. There are other ways that you could expose yourself for this community, as in like contacting influencers and stuff. I've never done that before, so I don't have any experience in that. But here's the thing, right, is these platforms, they don't like you taking people off the platform. So for example, if you're on YouTube, yeah, and you say, please go to Spotify and press like, they don't like that. They won't like help you out and give you a boost in the algorithm if you do that. So you want to try and keep your music on the platform if at all possible. But you ideally need to get their email. If you can get their email, everything changes, because then you own the ability to contact them without any social media whatsoever. Because if Mr. Zuckerberg decides to close Facebook, or your Instagram gets hacked, or for example, YouTube dies, or you're locked out for whatever reason, all that work of building that community is gone. And I've seen people who have spent months, years building up Facebook groups, social media followings, YouTube followings, to have their accounts taken away. And can you imagine like how awful that is? How awful. Ideally, you want to get their email. How do you get their email? Especially as a singer, I find that's really quite tricky. So there's a few options as a singer. The first one might be that you want to give some content for free, right? So the first thing you want to do is what we call a lead magnet. So you want to have a link in your bio on Instagram, or a link in the descriptions on YouTube to say, get my free song, get my free video, get my free personal journal about the recording of the EP, get my free beautiful Canva designed lyric sheet signed. I don't know, like you've got to think outside the box. Something that people are willing to give you their email address to get. Now, often as well, the great thing about like small DIY piano vocalists is that we want to support you. I think there's a lot of power in the small DIY artist. And I think story is really, really powerful. So if people get to know you, they get to like you, they know your story, they know your vulnerabilities, they root for you, they become your super fans. No matter what happens, they want to support you in any way they can. And so if there's a link to say, get my free song, you know, they're going to support you in that. They're going to come on your email list because they want to know more about who you are, because ultimately that's what you're doing. You're building your brand, you're building your relationship with them so that they feel like they know you really well and they feel like they're investing in your music. And it's not about you, it's about the community, which is why I go back to community. So this is what I'm talking about. It's about branding and about community, because you need to know your brand, you need to know your ideal customer so that you're attracting the people that are going to like your music to come into your social media. But then once you're in your social media, you need to build that community, you know, get on Facebook Lives, go on stories, build that community. And then ultimately the goal is to get their email address. Okay. So say you've done all that. What do I mean by get the email address? Well, you need a landing page. So you can go onto leadpages.com, or I think there's some free versions where you can get a landing page. It's a simple page, very, very simple, that you literally put your name and your address and you submit it, and then there's a nurture sequence that comes over that like it goes into your inbox. It's like, oh, hi, thank you so much. Here's your free download. And then they get sent to a thank you page. So that's a very, very simple, what we call a sales funnel. It's a very simple funnel. And then the idea is that you've created this email nurture sequence of about 4 or 5 emails telling them about yourself, building that relationship up further. Yeah. And then this is the great thing. You can then send them links, because you can send as many links as you want when it's in an email. Yeah. But one at a time. Don't send too many links that confuse people. But like in one email, you could say, go and check out all my videos on YouTube. And you could send them there. And then you can say, oh, next email, come and register for my Spotify playlist. And so they're getting more and more and more and more into your world. And that's how you get people to listen to you. But it starts with the branding and it starts with the community. So making sure that you've got your brand, making sure you know who your ideal customer is, and then putting that out on social media. That's completely free. You can do all that free. And then bringing your people into your community, and then ideally getting them to go onto your email list where you can build and nurture that relationship even further. But I hope that's been helpful. Listen, guys, if you've got any questions, type them in the comments below. And as always, if you have enjoyed this, please subscribe to my video. And if you are interested in being a paid professional piano vocalist, click on this video that's coming up next, and I will teach you about how to do that. All right, take care, guys. See you later. Bye.